Welcome back to CIA Declassified, the broadcast dedicated to dissecting the classified documents that reveal how intelligence agencies are willing to venture beyond the boundaries of conventional science in pursuit of the ultimate advantage. Today, we abandon the limits of human physiology and turn our focus to the immutable laws of space-time. We address the chilling fact that U.S. intelligence explored the possibility of achieving physics-defying communication, the ability to send signals back through time, all in the name of eliminating strategic surprise. We are analyzing the CIA's involvement in tachyon field physics and retrocausality, treating time itself not as a linear constraint, but as a communication medium to be exploited. Our primary evidence is the declassified file CIA-RDP79-01188R000100020001-5. This highly speculative report is titled, quote, "The Strategic Value of Preemptive Knowledge," end quote. It confirms that theoretical physics and advanced engineering resources were tasked with evaluating the possibility of manipulating tachyons, hypothetical particles that exist only when traveling faster than the speed of light, whose mathematics permit them to travel backward through time. The context here is the conservation of strategic dominance. If an intelligence service can send a single binary bit of information, a warning, a confirmation, or a veto, back to its operational timeline, all future adversarial actions become instantly negated. The outcome of any conflict is known before it begins. The file's existence confirms that the limits of Einsteinian relativity were viewed as a strategic challenge requiring an unconventional, potentially physics-breaking solution. The analysis focuses on two primary areas: tachyon generation and detection for communication, and retrocausality for strategic preemption. Let's drill down into the rigorous and wildly ambitious theoretical methodology documented in this file. The analysts demanded a path to exploit the theoretical loopholes in space-time. The file required an intense focus on tachyon field mechanics. Tachyons are particles whose existence is theoretically consistent with special relativity, but only if they never travel at or below the speed of light. This superluminal state means that mathematically an observer in one frame of reference could perceive the particle as traveling backward in time. The research sought to convert simple electrical energy into a burst of coherent tachyons. The key challenge was temporal communications. Since generating a burst of high-energy tachyons is necessary, the document outlines methods for encoding a simple strategic signal. The most practical proposal involved transmitting a simple binary code, a rapid burst of absence of the tachyon field, to deliver messages like stop, proceed, or a brief pre-agreed numerical warning. The document includes conceptual specifications for establishing coherent tachyon field generation, the massive energy and complex geometry required to generate the necessary field distortion. The theoretical power requirements mentioned in the file are astronomical, far exceeding the capacity of any existing power grid, suggesting the program was highly theoretical or dependent on a revolutionary, yet to be discovered energy source. Crucially, the file dedicated an entire section to the chronology protection hypothesis. This acknowledges the physics community's strong theoretical resistance to backward time travel, recognizing the paradoxes, like the grandfather paradox, inherent in the concept. The agency's analysts, however, treated this hypothesis not as a barrier, but as a technological limitation to be overcome. We must now examine the primary finding, the agency's assessment of the concept's strategic value regardless of its immediate feasibility. This is a critical excerpt regarding the confirmation of viability. Quote, "Though the current energy and technological threshold for coherent tachyon field generation remains beyond current capabilities, the strategic value of achieving guaranteed preemptive knowledge outweighs all associated risk and warrants persistent foundational research investment." End quote. And then from a section discussing intelligence warfare, it says, quote, "The ability to influence or nullify a critical adversarial decision, even a single hour before its execution, represents the absolute end of conventional intelligence warfare." End quote. This is the true meaning of the file. It states that strategic success is the ability to know and control the future. The agency saw an opportunity to utilize the most extreme reaches of physics to eliminate the fundamental uncertainty of time. The focus shifted from how do we react to the enemy's move to how do we prevent the enemy from making that move. We now address chilling operational implications of this file, the use of temporal communications in strategic maneuvering. The most extensive redactions occur in the section titled Paradox Management and Mitigation and the Nature of Temporal Anchors. This suggests detailed discussions around the methodologies needed to manage the devastating, unpredictable consequences of altering the past and identifying specific points in history, temporal anchors, that if influenced would yield maximum strategic return without causing complete chronological collapse. Why redact paradox management? Because it likely outlines the agency's contingency plans for managing timeline shifts, confirming that they treated the timeline as a malleable object. The concept discussed is the creation of a preemptive intelligence system. By sending a simple no signal back in time regarding a planned operation, a catastrophic failure could be averted. Conversely, a go signal could confirm that a dangerous operation will succeed. This capability makes every decision a guaranteed success. The file details the requirement for complex field generators and detection equipment, likely requiring massive isolated research facilities, analogous to particle accelerator, but designed for time rather than matter. The strategic weaponization of this research is clear. It is a temporal dominance weapon. A state possessing this capability gains absolute control over the narrative of history, rendering all conventional strategic planning, deception, and defense instantly obsolete. We conclude our analysis of this file. The existence and scope of the research confirm once again that U.S. intelligence treated the manipulation of space-time and the search for temporal communication as an actionable, high-priority strategic objective. The implication is that analysis moved into the sphere of applied metaphysical physics, seeking to exploit the mathematical vulnerabilities of the universe for the sake of perpetual intelligence advantage. This research represents the ultimate weaponization of time itself. If this documented truth has opened your mind to the technological boundaries explored by those in power, we require your continued support. First, like this episode and leave us a detailed 5-star review wherever you listen. This is how the analysis exposes the deeper scientific agendas. Second, share this episode with someone obsessed with theoretical physics, special relativity, or the paradoxes of time travel. We need more sharp minds analyzing these documented facts. Next, we move from the universal physics of time to the internal physics of biological warfare defense. We will analyze the CIA's classified research into aerosolized antigen blockers and remote biological neutralization. The agency's attempt to develop a wide area non-lethal defense against targeted biological attacks by deploying aerosolized compounds designed to temporarily neutralize specific airborne pathogens before they can interact with human hosts. For next investigation, we will dissect the CIA document RDP84-01004R000100020006-7, a frightening file concerning the strategic use of mass biological interception. What were the core challenges in safely deploying airborne compounds over civilian populations? How did the analysts plan to leverage this technology to create an invisible wide-area biological shield? And what does this reveal about the extreme defensive measures being taken against catastrophic non-conventional attacks? Tune in next for CIA Declassified, aerosolized shields and biological neutralization. Until then, remember, maintain your vigilance, question the reality you perceive, and keep your critical thinking sharp. I'll see you in the archives.